Hey guys, welcome back to the improvement season. It is me, Magic Mike, and on the other end, Big Steve Hall is with me. How you doing, Steve?
I Whenever I hear Big Steve now, as we've talked about in previous episodes, I just feel like I don't belong to that nickname. I'm like I need to be bigger to be called Big Steve. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty positive. I was feeling a little bit down the past days. Multiple reasons actually. We talked about it last week, where I said I felt a little bit down because I just had time, and I was like, this time should be filled with some productive work. And when I feel like I have to find work to do, I never like that. I don't know, being stacked out with client check-ins and like all that sort of thing. But this time of year, I think is a bit quiet for personal trainers in general, online or offline, just given it's winter and coming towards Christmas and just expenses start stacking up for people. Regardless, that's a different topic. And but I'm feeling more positive because I was feeling down, like I said, for that reason last week, but then also my injury had just been getting progressively worse, so the kind of hip flexor TFL strain. But I don't want to say I feel like I've turned a corner, because I think I
Mhm.
would be speaking too soon, because even sat here now talking to you, I can feel something's not right there.
Mm.
But it certainly was much worse. It has been much worse than what it's feeling now. So yeah, the BFR training, at least in the short term, for the last couple of sessions that I've been doing. So BFR, blood flow restriction training, if people don't know, where you kind of cuff the top of your thigh and do some excruciating training where the blood stays in the thighs and doesn't come out until you decuff. Well, it does come out a little bit, of course. It doesn't pull all the blood,
Oh.
but it allows you to work with really light loads and still get good hypertrophy stimulus. It seems to be working as like a intermediary. I know we've been talking about it. So
Mm.
today, I think I feel better than I did yesterday. So that's good. So I'm interested to see how I feel tomorrow.
Yeah.
And hopefully it is just a continuation of just improving. Not that I really want to train with BFR long term or for any
No.
more than a few sessions, but it may have to be a few weeks potentially, depending on how things go.
If it and because we spoke about this where with your injury in particular, we've got to go by how you feel the next day, because for the longest time, your sessions you can train okay with no apparent problem, but then it's always maybe later that evening or the next day where you really know about it. And so we can't say immediately after your session, like, oh, it's fine. We've got to wait until the next day to make a call. So that's the tricky
Yeah.
thing.
That was really useful, you saying that to me, because that is the tends to be the way I go about things. It's like, okay, in my session, don't let things get towards like more than a 3 out of 10 pain or discomfort. And that generally works really, really well. But yeah, like you said, with this one, I hadn't been getting any real pain or discomfort, especially not going over a 3 out of 10, but it was that evening, the next day, where it might feel worse. So yeah, at least I know this time kind of, don't know, of late was feeling worse than it is now. So I think tomorrow it'll feel even better than it did the day after the first time I did it, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
Uh, but it's just frustrating because it's like I don't know exactly what it is. Like I don't even know if it's muscular or not at this point. Like I don't.
Mm.
There are certain movements, very not obviously movements I'm not doing in the gym, that sometimes irritate it and annoy it. So anyway, we know it's in and around the hip flexor, TFL, towards
Yeah.
the top of the thigh, but pinpointing it is more challenging. And it's getting pissed off with deep hip flexion
Hmm.
seems to be the thing.
With certain things, we can't always, unless you were to say have an MRI scan and things like that. So we can't sometimes be uber specific with saying this exact thing. And sometimes when people are very confident with saying like, oh, it is this, it's either like, oh, maybe they're not, or again, maybe it's obvious. So in the case of again trauma, when it's something traumatic, again, it's quite obvious. But in your kind of case, where it wasn't anything traumatic, it was this maybe gradual overuse type kind of an injury. It's like we can't sometimes say, oh, this exact tissue or problem. So it's again, it's nice to put things in square boxes and neat little things, but we can't do that unfortunately sometimes.
Very well put. It reminds me of many. I can't think of a specific example but with training, with clients and client work. Like sometimes the client wants like a definite answer of to why X has led to Y, but sometimes you don't know. I don't know. So
Mm,
I guess an example that comes to mind: you go through a diet break, food comes up, but then their body weight goes down. It's like, well, you'd expect body weight to come up because you're storing more glycogen, you got more food weight, maybe having more sodium, more water weight, but your weight's come down. Maybe it's stress, but we
mhm.
can't necessarily know. Or, for example, actually, we could say your weight spike recently, this past, like earlier this week, or where it was. It's like, can't always know why. Like sometimes the diet doesn't change at all, lifestyle doesn't change, and the body just does these things. And ultimately, you don't need to know why. You just need to know that it has.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And kind of, we mentioned this before as well, where you've kind of just got to have faith in the number, like have faith in the numbers, have faith that you're either in a maintenance or have faith you're in a deficit, etc. Trust that and let the weight and let those other things kind of stabilize and sort themselves out.
Yeah, it's one of those where you've probably had it, Mike, where your clients, I don't know, their weight's been stable a week and they're like, oh, maybe we have to put calories down. And you're like, no, let's keep it the same. And then they lose weight a lot the next week and they're like, oh, you're a magician. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not a magician. I'm not a fortune teller. I just have experience with this and things tend to work out. So yeah, trusting that process sometimes is all you need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's quite funny. I don't know why, but my head also went to physio because sometimes you trust something's going to happen and you might do a certain thing, or you might just say, just wait for a little bit longer. I'm pretty sure that things are going to get better now. And sometimes it does work out that way. And they think, how did you do that? How do you know that? And you're like, it's just trust and experience.
Yeah, for sure. And actually, other good news I have is Ada. We just got some more blood work back, and she seems to have recovered pretty well from
Oh,
the
amazing.
chemo that seemed to beat her up quite a lot. And thankfully, we managed to get some medication and things for her very frequent diarrhea, which was like to the point of waking up 5 times in the night to like let her out to go poo. Thankfully, Charlotte was doing those, so it wasn't disturbing me so much. But yeah, it's good to see her feeling herself a little bit more, eating a bit more food,
Yeah.
and so she seems to be a little bit on the up. We're now booked in next week for another round of that chemo, which I'm nervous for, to be honest, because it really beat her up over a few days, and I wouldn't want her living that life over those days. But good news at the moment. How are things on
Yeah.
your end, Mike?
Good, to be honest with you. Do you know what? I had a funny thought the other day where if you could just combine my lower body with your upper body, we'd be sorted,
Yeah.
because my lower body's fine at the moment. It's just my upper, and it's the opposite with you at the moment. So, what a combination that would be.
Yeah, upper body training feels great, man. Like I've no complaints. Yeah, my highlight, actually thinking about it now, I managed to bench 50-kilo dumbbells on a 15-degree incline. I'm like, I don't think I've
Whoa.
ever touched 50 kilograms for reps ever. Like I've never even lifted up those dumbbells and thought about attempting to press them. So I'm not a like impressive presser, but for me that was impressive.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, even if you were to just say that to me, I'd be like, that's pretty impressive. The 50 kilos. That's 100 pounds. That's decent.
I can't say they were beautiful reps, but they were still decent enough ROM, decent enough control, and 6 reps I got, so I was quite happy. Yeah.
Hey, that's it. That's what it's all about. But no, apart from that, things are good with me. The shoulder is feeling better. I feel like again we've made similar to what you were just saying. I'm now that I've had a couple of flare-ups, I'm always a bit hesitant to say like, oh, it's better, but there has been a noticeable improvement. And I I said to you in the check-in this week that I kind of just surrendered to things. I felt like I kind of just surrendered with things because it got to the point last weekend where I was like, do you know what? Uh, like I've had enough with this, in a way. Like, so I don't care if I lose muscle or whatever. I just want the shoulders to be better so that I can move forwards, because right now, whatever I'm trying to do by forcing the recovery process, it's just not getting better. And I was just like, right, I give up in this, not give up in the sense that stopping bodybuilding or anything, but like I give up in terms of trying to force the process. We're just going to fully embrace rehab now from a left side perspective. So I was like, that was the thing kind of for me this past week. And and it does feel like it is feeling better and moving forward. So I feel better uh, in that regard, which is good.
I loved the way that you put that in terms of surrendering. I don't know why this example comes to mind, but when I fly, obviously, I don't like flying. There sometimes becomes a point of which in the flight, I do just like surrender myself to the flight where I'm like, I can't do anything about this. So why am I like sitting here rigid whenever I feel like any sort of bump or any sort of movement? So I just, if I can allow myself just to surrender to, hey, I'm on this flight, whatever happens, happens. I can't control anything. It helps so much. And so exactly what you said there, I think it might be something that I have to do with my legs or that side where I just surrender to deloading and backing off. Obviously, that's the next step. Or even like with the BFR training, like, hey, I might just have to surrender to have to go through that shit style of training, which it's as we've spoken about before. The great thing is with it, you then get the experience with that to then be able to help other clients. So the number of people I've had reach out to me that have been like, why are you doing BFR? Like, what is that? How can that be useful? And it gives me that opportunity to like educate, and also having had, because I've only ever done BFR for like very short stints, like a one-off workout here or there as like some novelty. I've never had to use it really as a recovery intervention, but you're also doing some BFR, but on upper body, right?
Yeah, exactly. For the arms, I call it. You've got to go into the pain cave. Just gotta like, just get. It's fine for the first few reps, and then you get deep into that activation set, and then it's like, oh god, here we go.
And I can't remember. I've done it for upper body, but I can't really remember doing it much. But for quad work, for compound quad work, when you finish the set and you're just stood there for the rest period, and I'm like, like I want to take these off, and the tolerance you build of just feeling that pain, just basically the pump's just accumulating as that blood is just storing within the muscle, and you're just like, and now I have to go into another set, like I feel even worse.
I just like I kind of like rock in the bench, like I'm kind of like, oh, this is.
He looked like a psycho.
Literally, yeah. I'm just like eyes closed, just breathe through the pain, kind of thing. But yeah, it's definitely an experience.
My issue is, for those that listen to the main podcast, you might have heard some adverts because they sponsored a couple of episodes by Saga Fitness, and I got some nice cuffs that like inflate, and they have an app and it's precision and all of that, and like they're really good. But I lent them to a friend because he was dealing with some knee issues, and I've only just got them today. So the last couple of sessions I've used like old knee wraps. Within the research, I believe they just use knee wraps in like the first papers anyway, because BFR was new and novel and such. Like I think we've got some cheaper ones off like Amazon, just BFR bands that are like tighten. Those look great to me. I like the look of those because it's just simple. You just put them on and pull it tight. The knee wraps though, I have to like wrap them around the leg, and I'm like, how tight have I got this? I'm like, I don't know if it's too tight or not tight enough. I'm like, oh, this is quite painful. I had to loosen it like mid-set because I was like, I can't even stand here with them on. My legs are going purple. So whereas with the cuffs that inflate, they inflate to 70% every time or whatever it is. So I'm just like, once I have those on, that'll be good. So I'm kind of excited to be able to use those and then progress with things. But yeah, hopefully for both of us, recovery will be only up from here.
Absolutely. Interestingly, I was speaking with a physio colleague on Wednesday, and there are these shorts that you can wear where the occlusion cuff is in the shorts themselves. There's something like Hydrox or something. Just basically these really high-tech shorts. You can get it for the top half as well. And it's built into the arm sleeve or to the short sleeve, and you just get them done. And you can also... So you can vary the intensity. So I think it's from like 1 to 5, where if you do like a 1, that facilitates like a very mild recovery process apparently. And then if you go all the way up to 5, that's obviously like training and, hardcore occlusion stuff. So it was interesting to talk to him about that.
Yeah, I'm on that note with the occlusion. I think probably people could get too worried about, am I occluded enough or not enough? If you've got them on, they're doing something, they're fatiguing you more, they are occluding to some extent. It's probably better to be on the slightly looser side than too tight side. Because you could cause yourself some problems there. But it makes tons of sense having them on is like shorts or what have you, and then them just doing it there, because it's a bit awkward having to do it. Like I was doing it over my shorts, but it just, unless you've, and even over like jogging bottoms, like it's a bit awkward putting them over that material, and it's a bit awkward across like the groin as well. Like I'm like, where's my pee go? Like, like I have to somehow manage this. So anyway,
don't include the pee, whatever you do.
No, not good stuff. Anything else on your end? So, any other updates for you?
Might as well update. So the date went well on Sunday.
Oh yeah, what can you tell us?
So we went to this coffee place in Oxford called Love Coffee Co., which is in the centre of Oxford. Really nice.
Is that a chain?
No, I don't think it is.
I feel like I thought I'd heard of it,
Maybe
or it could be a name that little, what's it called, privately places have.
It was really good though. Like they had full spread in terms of loads of food options. Coffee was good. They had like some good baked goods, and I had a pistachio croissant, which was like I haven't had a croissant in a long time. So, but the pistachio in it was really nice. So, and it was good. You know, date went well. We're going to catch up again this weekend. So, we shall see.
I always say with dates, because inevitably on a first date, like you don't know each other that well, and you can't go off just like vibes and sparks, and like some people are just flirty and like you feel like you've got a spark with them, whereas other people are a bit more like, hey, they need a bit of warming up. So I'm always like, hey, don't, unless they're visibly not your type or whatever it is, or they say something really like out there where you're like, I don't want to associate with you. Give them a chance. Give it a few dates. Kind of similar to like a new exercise, right? You have to like give it a chance, give it a few shots. It's unlikely to feel amazing right at the first go. So yeah, great that you're meeting up again. Is it another coffee, or are you doing something else this time?
We are thinking about it. Might be maybe something different. So not sure just yet.
Trying to think what I used to do. So drinks were always my first go-to, but it would be alcohol. This is when I was younger, and I would sacrifice myself to some alcohol. I did that, and then I think the second date we went for food. I'm trying to. This is one specific example because I didn't go on too many. Because then I met Charlotte very quickly after this, and yeah, we went for food, and I think we were going to go for bowling, but it was too busy, and we did snooker or like pool in like the bar. So yeah, just like activities like that are good. But anyway, it's exciting.
One thing that actually interesting, I had in the back of my head, in Oxford again, they've got this thing called Sixes Cricket, which I think is a chain. So you basically have these what they call lanes for cricket, and it's kind of almost like a driving range where you just get given they fire cricket balls at you, and then you've just got to hit it, and then you kind of get scores, and you can kind of play against each other like bowling essentially. So I was kind of thinking about that.
Activities are great because it keeps, like, for you and me, Mike, we could sit down in a room and just chat and it would be fine, and we could have silence and it's fine. But when you're on, like, when you don't know that person that well, you need, so I used to want to, this is funny, I read a book, I think it was called like The Game or something. It was like a dating book or whatever. And one of the practices it gave in there was like, bar hop. Don't just stick in one bar, like move once you've had a couple of drinks at one, go to another one. So I would try and do that at my dates. Again, it removes that kind of awkward, like when there's some transitions or if there's an activity, just like it breaks things up, it makes it feel a bit smoother. So anyway, I certainly was not a player by any means in that book. I remember reading it and thinking like, if I could do the stuff in this book, I think it would work. I can't do it.
Yeah. Like, was it more the case of like, this so isn't me when you were reading it, or was it just, was it the implementation that was the hard bit?
Yeah, exactly. I can't remember what it would say to do, but it was, just things where you'd have to be confident in yourself and a bit ballsy to do the things. And I'm sure the things would work. I just was like, I just would never do this. Like, it's hard for me enough to just go up to a girl at a bar, let alone like do this tactic that it's talking about where, I don't know, it's like negging this girl and then involving this person. I don't know. I can't remember it. I would be interested to reread it, but anyway.
You wouldn't be able to try any of it though.
No, of course. Well, I could probably try it as long as it didn't go anywhere, although I just would not try any of it again.
No.
I have no reason to do it either. Although I'm sure it would be good at like influencing people and gaining maybe friends or getting people
Mm,
to do something you want. Yeah, it's actually, that reminds me of, I'm watching Maybe Call Saul, that program, and he's
mm,
so good at manipulating people.
mm,
Like he'll create a character, go to a bar, and he'll like try and find someone that he can basically fraudulently convince to give him money that is
mm.
like got an investment or something like that that's popping off, and he'll get something off them. Anyway, that's just my mind wandered.
With with those sorts of things and people, would you class them as almost sociopaths where they just don't have that, I don't know, empathy or human connection, so they can just literally it's easier for them to manipulate people?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. They've definitely uber extroverted and very, very self confident and
Mm,
just have the gift of the gab. Yeah, I don't know if it's funnier. Yeah, I don't know. There's a bit of like psychopath type of behavior, and again, some women are attracted to like psychopaths and that sort of
mm,
behavior too. So
yeah.
that's why the nice guy finishes last, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, I always find it interesting with people as well because you do get some people who are just naturally so gifted at being witty and they can just give you a retort like immediately. Like my stepdad's like that, and it's so frustrating. And then someone will tell me a joke, and then 5 minutes later or the next day, I'll think of the reply in my head, and I'll be like, "Oh, why didn't this come at the time?"
Yeah, I'm really like that. And sometimes my brain works really like great. Like I can think of the words, I can think of the replies, and I'm hot. And then other times I'm just like, why is it so slow? And why am I struggling with this? The person that comes to mind when you talk about that being quick, especially with jokes and humor, Mike Israel. You've met him in real life, right?
Yeah,
Just like he's just exactly as he is online, right? He just comes out left field with this complete weird scenario. It makes sense, but I'm just like, how did your brain make this up? I don't know. But a lot of
yeah.
comedians also are like hyper intelligent. Obviously, Mike's known for his intelligence. With
Mm,
anyway, I'm not going down the Mike Israel rabbit hole
no,
because I
no.
take this in completely the wrong direction. Any anime updates for you? You any way further through?
So last season of Demon Slayer now, and
Very cool.
do you know? So basically, after I finish season 4, my plan is to try to watch the Demon Slayer movie. So I've got to start trying to figure out where it's being shown.
Yeah, I know Crunchyroll aren't. They're not releasing it like to the internet till maybe next year because they want to encourage people to go to the theater, which I think is totally fine and legit. I'd love to see it at the theater because I think the animation will just be
Mm.
unreal. You can. I have seen people have like put it up, like they've recorded on their phone the screen
Oh,
in the
really?
cinema, and so you can watch it. But I don't even want to watch that. One, it feels a bit icky to do
Oh,
that in
yeah,
some way, but also it's just the animations what makes it, right? So I want to see
totally.
it in the big screen. So if you do find it, or if I find it, or once you're ready to see it, I can have a look around because I imagine London might be one of the best places to find a cinema that might still be showing it.
Mm. I wasn't sure if they would still be showing it in the theater still. I wasn't sure how long it'd
I
been
don't
out.
know. Yeah, I
But
haven't checked. It's been quite a while since it's come out, so they might not be, which would be unfortunate. But
mm,
otherwise, you'll
yeah.
just have to wait. Jujutsu Kaisen, you haven't watched yet, and that the next season of that's coming out soon, so you have plenty more to get into. And also, you haven't watched Death Note yet, have you?
No, not yet.
No, I want to rewatch Death Note just because it's such a vibe. It's just really cool.
Have you heard of an anime called K-pop Demon Hunter? I think it's on Netflix.
Yeah, haven't watched it, but K-pop rings a bell. I haven't watched it. I can't say anything more about it, but K-pop rings a bell of like it being quite popular. But I think my nieces and nephews maybe were watching it, and it didn't look like the type of anime that I'd enjoy, to say that.
Because the only reason why I asked, because I hadn't heard of it, but the girl that I've gone on a date with, she's watching it at the moment.
Oh, okay, maybe
So,
there
and I
is
was
something
like,
to it,
yeah, I was like, oh, I haven't seen it at
unless
all.
she's 14.
Shh, shh.
Oh God, don't should. Do you actually know her age, and are you willing to share that?
Oh yeah, yeah, 32.
Oh, okay, cool. All right,
Yeah,
she's that's a great
she's
age.
not 14. Don't worry.
No, no, I wasn't worried of that. I was like, but I could have seen. I don't know what your span of age would have been in the app. Actually, I think I asked you. I think you said maybe up to like I don't know. Did you say?
I
Did
think
you
I
tell me?
had a cutoff of 40. I think. Oh
Okay,
well, no,
cool.
maybe even
Or
higher than that.
45.
Probably 45 potentially.
Yeah, yeah, that's not too crazy. Now that we're,
Mm.
I mean, it's only 10 years, right? Although
Yeah, I know.
25 would feel quite young, but that's still not terrible, especially if they're a mature 25-year-old. Anyway,
I think that's the thing, isn't it? Because sometimes with people, it can vary so much in terms of their, mental maturity, where they are in life. It can vary drastically sometimes.
yeah, especially around that 25 to, I mean, 40, 45, potentially even. Um, Especially like, yeah, 25 to 35, you're kind of finding your feet, your career, your home. Some people are still traveling and
Hmm.
like doing some of the things like that. And then they aren't settling down and finding roots just yet. They're not ready for that. But yeah, cool.
Yeah,
Any other like news for you? Or I
not
don't think I have anything.
the only thing. Well, do you know what? Worlds is going to be closing in on us really, really
Yeah.
soon. So we've got next weekend and then the weekend after. It's here pretty much,
Yeah.
which is
That's going to
nuts.
be the big one.
Yeah. So we've got Babacar competing. Obviously,
Is
Helm.
Babacar confirmed? Because I have heard rumors that he might not even be stepping on stage
Oh,
at
I don't
Worlds,
know
but
actually. Sorry, I was just assuming again.
yeah. Sorry, continue though.
You'd hope so.
I
Um,
hope so.
fingers crossed. But obviously, I just saw a post today as well about Eric Helms giving a summary of the Muscle Mayhem and him competing in Classic. And, obviously, Alberto competed as well. I think he's competing this weekend in a local show, I believe, according to his
NPC
stories.
or something.
Yeah. So, and also, Brad, is it? Yeah, Brad,
Loomis.
Black. Yeah, Brad Loomis competed as well in the Masters. So the Muscle Mayhem looked good. Did you see? Did you see? Is it Shrinesh who beat Eric Helms for Classic and won the overall for the Muscle Mayhem?
Yeah, did he also win the this is a bit of a controversial discussion, right? He won Open and Classic,
Yes.
which kind of goes to arguments against Classic in some ways. Like if you're a good Open or good Classic bodybuilder, you can certainly be a good Open bodybuilder. But yeah, we've kind of discussed that before, right? But he's
Yeah.
shapely.
Yeah. Absolutely. But big dude, big
Yeah, lots
quad.
of muscle.
So yeah, be
Eric had
interesting.
him on condition for sure because Eric won his class in and then they went into an overall.
Yeah.
But yeah, he had heaps of muscle, just very muscle bound.
Mm-hmm. For sure. So he's definitely going to Worlds. So it'll be interesting to see how he does at Worlds.
Yeah, now he's a pro in both. I think he could do, yeah, like I said, he has condition that could come in. So he's got a good chunk of time to kind of bring that in, which is exciting. At least from
Mm.
the photos I saw, it's hard to always. The only other one I would say is Eddie. I've forgotten his last name. Uh, Eddie took the win in the men's pro class. Nunez came second to him. And then I think it was like a Spanish competitor maybe came third, maybe Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
It was, I think, European. And then Sam Okanola, I don't want to say his name wrong, but Sam, he ran a marathon like the week before, but Sam's like multiple like world champion, crazy. But I mean, he's not at his prime going into that show, came fourth. And I think Eric came fifth after him or sixth, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, there was some good competition. But Eddie looks real good. I don't know if you've seen many images of Eddie, but very competitive. He's gonna be. I think he'll place. I'd be shocked if he didn't place in the middleweights at Worlds. Where
Okay.
he places is up for debate. He'll battle out someone like Max, for
Mm-hmm.
example, who we brought up a few times from Germany. Because
Yeah.
I actually think him and Eddie are quite similarly. They have similar builds and strengths. Like basically both very symmetrical, both shredded, with few weaknesses. So it'd be interesting to see how he stacks up.
It was just you'll see how they come on in the day. Because now that I think about it, Max's season has. It feels like it's been quite long. He's been competing for a
Yeah.
long time. So
Yeah, I'm interested to know what he's been doing actually, whether because he was shredded for the UK show. He was inside out peeled. Like
yeah.
there was not more to come off. off his physique as far as I'm concerned. So I imagine he's just been in this like maintenance, essentially, like perma-peaked look. But it's been a long time, and a lot of bodies would fatigue during that state. But he seems to be holding on. That would be my concern, is that his best look isn't at Worlds, which is where you need
Mm,
it to be, because that ultimately is like the top competition,
yeah.
or
So
should be.
we'll have to see. Do you know how many people are going from the UK? Like the kind of the size of the group?
Clueless.
No,
Apart
me
from I
too.
saw a reel from the WNBF UK where I had all of them up there. I didn't count or try and do anything like that. It looked like a decent number. We're
Mm,
normally, what, 20 to 30 people or something,
yeah. I
I
mean, it's a
think.
big number when you think about it. It's
Yeah,
huge.
it's a lot of people. I don't, maybe that's a bit too many that I'm saying, but yeah, there's a good number of people going. So
Mm,
it'll be really cool to see that. And I will be talking to a few people after their seasons and after Worlds. I'm kind of planning that. I spoke to Kenny. For those that follow Longevity Muscle might know Kenny, who's interviewed, like he's done over 150 interviews one-on-one with various competitors, kind of up and coming and old timers as well. So that'll be episode 499, and we talk a little
mm.
bit about what he's learned from them and stuff. And I tried to see if he had any predictions for Worlds, and I couldn't get him to. Really, he just said, "Here, if Babacar turns up, he's probably going to win." I think I was like, that's a surefire bet, man. I put a lot of money on Babacar winning.
Yeah. But that'll be great then. So you'll have that episode with Kenny, and then it's straight on to episode 500, which is the round table.
Yes, I don't know how. I think a teaser will come out soon, so I'm trying to not say too much about that episode. I think if people have kept up with me on Instagram, they'll know who it is, and people can probably guess. But yeah, I'm excited for that one to come out. It feels like ages ago since I recorded it. I think it must be like at least 1-2 months ago that I recorded that. But yeah, that's the caliber of guest, because they're busy, busy people.
I'm sure the audience will really appreciate it, no doubt.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, hopefully it goes down well. And anyway, should we go to
Mm,
questions then? Doesn't sound like
let's
there's
get
anything
straight to
else.
questions. Yeah, I'm
Cool.
ready.
I'll ask you the first one from Nick G underscore STL. And Nick asks, and by the way, guys, just so I don't forget, if you have questions and you'd like them answered on this episode or on future episodes, be sure to join the Hypertrophic Time Chamber over on Instagram. It's linked in my profile. It's the broadcast group, and you can join and you can leave, and there's no kind of like, it's all good, but you can come in there. I post a question box every week, and that's where these questions are coming from. Alternatively, if you're on YouTube, you can ask here on YouTube, and we should be able to get to it. It's just easier and more trackable because we have all the questions in one place via Instagram. So if we miss you on YouTube once or twice, you might decide just to join us over on Instagram. But
Mm.
regardless, let's get to the first question. Like I said, from Nick, he asked, how would you lay out a 5 to 6 day split with an upper body focus, legs at maintenance?
So I guess the simplest way that I would go about it would I'd keep some. I'd essentially think, right, I'd probably keep some legs in, maybe split over twice per week just to get 2 bouts of a leg stimulus. But otherwise, if we're stripping volume straight back, then I feel like this is quite a simple question in the sense that, you'd obviously pull your leg volume back to, as it says, maintenance volumes. I'd still have 2 doses per week, and then I would just basically buff out the upper body volume and spread it accordingly across the week. That's essentially, without knowing anything else because obviously it's quite a general question, without knowing anything else in terms of, do they want to focus on a specific body part like chest or back, etc. You know, essentially it would just look like me buffing out the upper body volume a little bit more and going from there.
Yeah, I think the thought that comes to mind for me is, if someone is specializing on upper body, I'm expecting that they are therefore pushing their volume quite high.
Mm,
And so probably they're going to want to do upper body and everything of the upper body more than twice a week.
mm,
Potentially they're getting into more than 20 sets to spread the volume out. So then that's where my thought is, how do I get a split that gets the upper body trained 3 times per week? And that could be 3 upper days, and then that could be 2 lower days. And what you could do, so it could be an upper, lower, upper, lower, upper. And what you could do is spread some delt and arm work on those lower body
Yeah.
days
Hmm.
to kind of spread out that volume a little bit more, and those muscles tend to recover quite quickly. I think that's where my head goes. That's the main thing I was thinking about. I was like, if you are specialized in upper body, you're probably going to want to train it each muscle more than putting it across 2 workouts. Because I was like, oh, you could do push pull, lower push pull for
Hmm.
6 sessions. Sorry, that would be 5 sessions, wouldn't it? But I was like, but then you only train everything that kind of 2 times a week, so you could probably spread your volume out a little bit better. So yeah, maybe 3 upper, 2 lower, with a little bit more upper on those lower body days, and potentially another day where you could again do some of those muscles that recover very quickly. Or you could even be smart about it and be like, hey, on that final upper, you do like a more vertical lat and like upper chest focus, and then the next upper the next day, maybe it's a bit more kind of triceps and biceps, and a bit more upper back and like lower chest focus or something. There's so,
Mm.
like you said, there's so many ways you could do the split, and you might even have to try something and I'd start at lower volumes, of course, and then slowly build up and see how things recover from there. But yeah, I think splits are so much less important than making sure it's just a way of getting in the highest quality volume done possible for the week. So the actual people focus way too much on like split, like, oh, push pull legs or upper lower or full body. And it's like, well, is it full body or is it upper lower if you end up training some of your upper on that lower and it's just like some tag on stuff? Really, you just have, I think, yeah. Anyway, I'm rambling.
No,
I've given my thoughts on it, I think, enough.
it totally makes sense. I even, as you were sort of speaking there, I was thinking you could even spread the lower body volume a bit more. Like, for example, you could start off with chest, then you could maybe do a bit of hamstring work. Then the next day you could do your back and you could do your quads, or I'm making it up. But there's infinite possibilities in terms of how you can, you know, write things and spread things out. It kind of just depends again on the person.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking you could probably get the volume done for maintenance of legs with 1 leg session a week. It's
Yeah.
just going to probably be a bit brutal.
Mm,
So I think spreading out the legs like across at least 2 sessions would just be a bit nicer. And then you
mhm.
can probably get some great upper body stuff done in those sessions too. So yeah, lots of, that's kind of like the art of programming, as it were, more than anything.
Absolutely. Right. I think we answered that question. Right. Donald Ye, he asks, what are the top mistakes you see intermediates making that hinder progress?
Hmm. I think the immediate one that comes to mind is focusing too much on quantity and not enough on quality of work. It kind of reminds me of what we spoke about last week, where we're like, the things for a newbie to focus on is really like nailing their technique. Then once you've got good technique, nail your intensity. And then once you've got the intensity, you work on kind of the volume element later on. So that's probably the biggest mistake I see intermediates doing is, yeah, going for quantity before they've got the quality. And then I would say the next thing that comes to mind is being a bit too perfectionist. This might
Mhm.
just be the people I tend to work with, where they're a little bit too focused on standardizing every single minute variable to the point of which they're focusing too much on more on that than they are on the stimulus. So they'd be the 2 that come to mind. I don't know if any others come to mind for you, Mike.
I think the immediate thought that came to my head, which was the first one you said, was a more is better mindset. So, like you said, quantity over quality. And I don't know whether you say program hopping is more of a beginner mistake, because I feel something um that came into my mind today as I was checking with clients is when things are going well, I think people can get bored. They think like, oh, everything's going smoothly. I need to be doing something different. Do I need to be doing a little bit more of this? Or, maybe we should try that. Or what else can I do? And it's like, hey, don't get bored right now. Everything is going really well. Just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. So maybe I might just add there that for some intermediates, just getting comfortable rinsing and repeating, and getting comfortable with a little bit with boredom. I think that would be key.
I think program hopping is absolutely a great one to bring up. And I see it time and time again and I definitely put it as a intermediate mistake, because I think newbies, it's hard to get anything too wrong apart from injuring yourself. Like as a newbie, everything works. But as an intermediate, that's when gains slow down. And then they think, oh, it's slower, so I must have to do something different to get more. And it's like, no, you just need to respect that the rate of progress has slowed down. You're doing the right things. And there's intelligent ways you can spice things up and make it interesting without taking away the core of the program. But yeah, program hopping, I see that regularly. It's kind of similar to, if outside of training, a mistake intermediates make is like pushing it bulks too hard and cutting too frequently. Because again, they want to see that fast progress, and maybe they grew really well eating quite a bit when they had a higher growth potential, but now they have a lesser growth potential. That excess surplus is now just leading to fat gain, and then they're cutting every few months. They just halve the rate of gain, and then they cut like after 6 months plus, they're going to be in a much better position. So yeah, it's, as a general rule for intermediates, changing things too often.
Yeah, anything like coach hopping, right? Exercise hopping, just any kind of hopping, just don't do it. Try to stick to the process.
Respecting that delayed gratification that is like the personification. Well, bodybuilding, natural bodybuilding is the personification of.
Indeed. I always think investment banker, you just think you got to put that money away and just let it accumulate.
Long and slow. And there's actually a term for this. I can't remember what it is anyway. Let's go to the next question then. From Banu Fitness asks, how do you view the trade-off between 1, having a refeed day but lower calories the remaining days, and 2, same calories every day?
And so for me, I always encourage people to experiment a little bit with both, but ultimately I always think it comes back to the individual, because I have asked many clients like, hey, do you want to try refeed days? Do you want to try higher and lower calorie days? And some legitimately say, do you know what? No, I don't, because I like the consistency, and I just feel that for me, maybe it would, promote unhelpful patterns with food, etc. And I'm like, cool, totally fine. We'll just stick with, what we're doing, consistent day in and day out. So I really just think it depends on the individual. There's no right or wrong. It's just whatever you prefer. And if you're not sure, experiment, see what you think.
Yeah, that seems to be my perspective as well. I'm fairly convinced that average calories long term is what will drive results. Are there some unique situations where refeeds could have benefits outside of just general fat loss, like, hey, practice peaking or what have you? Sure. But I think mostly it just comes down to personal preference, especially outside of contest prep scenarios. I don't think the benefits are profound there. And yeah, similar to you, some people love having the refeed and they really find it makes a difference, like something to look forward to, and they can grind out the lower days. Other people are like, nah, I just like having same day in, day out. And even when I think about a contest prep scenario, just speaking for myself, I've done preps with no refeeds. My 2017 prep, I think, I did no refeeds that prep. I did them in 2021 and I really liked them. And so me and Cliff obviously utilized them last year as well. So you can definitely still get shredded without them. But I think there might be some unique benefits as you're getting into those extremes. But outside of that, personal preference, for sure.
Definitely. For sure. Cool. So, keeping up with John, he asks, are calculators for max muscle based on ankle wrist measurement, are they accurate? For example, Stronger by Science has one.
I think Stronger by Science, and I know Mene Hanselman's also has like a calculator for genetic max potential. I think they're definitely not 100% accurate because everyone's a little bit different. So it can't take into consideration every individual using them, but it can give you a ballpark idea of where you might be. both Stronger by Science and Meadow are very science-driven, evidence-based. They're not going to throw out something that's just completely random and made up. It'll have some good data and information behind it, backing it, but it's definitely not perfect. I think it probably is somewhat similar to a calorie calculator, where you can punch in your whatever it is, your height, weight, your age, your sex, your activity levels, and it can give you a number, but that number is probably not perfect. Well, it's definitely not perfect. And you could be 10, 20%, several standard deviations away from it. So I'd say it's a perfectly fine ballpark, but definitely not guarantee by any means.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have anything to add there, but I guess the only thing to reinforce there is like, just don't put too much weighting on it. Like, you can use it as a bit of a tool, but don't think it's the best thing since sliced bread.
Nice. Aaron Busby asks, what will the day... so Aaron is your client, of course, asking what will the day look like for the Christmas get-together. He's really looking forward to it. So every year we do a Revive Stronger team, Revive Stronger get-together where our clients... And if there's any clients listening and you don't know about it, DM me, Mike, send us a message, because you should know about it. We've tried to tell everyone. And so we get a good group of us to go for a training session and then go for some food. And that's basically what it will be. Like, we'll probably... At the moment in my head, we're meeting at MuscleWorks. We're going to train there we'll probably be there for like 2 to 3 hours, because that's how long it ends up being when you're talking, trying bits of kit, training hard. And then, and one of my clients actually asked, like, do we follow our own program, or what are we doing with that? And I was just like, hey, most people come and do their own session. They might do a bit more and know that they're going to be a bit more fatigued. And so just take that into consideration. Maybe have an extra rest day the next week, or they might combine a couple of sessions because they know they've got a good amount of time. And I would say most spread their volume. So if you've got 4 sets of a leg press, you might decide to do 2 sets of a leg press and then 2 sets of another leg press, or a pendulum squat, to just spread that volume out to enjoy a bit more of the kind of, again, MuscleWorks is so much equipment. Like, that's what I'm going to do. I don't know I should have lower body so long as I'm feeling good for it. I really hope I'm not in BFR bands at that point, but I might be. But yeah, I'll try bits and pieces of their equipment and just basically get a stimulus. It'll be a rest day Sunday anyway, so that'll be great. So we'll train, and then at the moment I've inquired at a burger place, so hopefully we'll walk over to a burger place, have a private booking there and eat, and we normally end up eating or in the restaurant for 3 hours. By that point, it's time for more food or going home or whatever it is. So it's lots of eating, training, talking, and that sort of thing.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff. And yeah, I'm in the process of getting a little bit of a gift ready. So yeah, hopefully there'll be that. But now I've said it, I've put my foot in it. I have to produce the goods. So
there you go.
There'll be something. Right. Shall I ask you the next question then, Mike?
Yeah,
From
go for it.
Remy Saka. It's a fun one. Top 3 flavors for chips/crisps. We call them crisps.
Yeah.
Chips for us are fries for Americans. Please don't be boring and say sour cream and onion or barbecue. What? I love pickle, ketchup, and salt and vinegar, to be honest. Let's be frank. That's in the category of sour cream and onion or barbecue. That's not
absolutely
any more of a fancy flavor.
Like, at least in the UK, the standard flavors are salt and vinegar, ready salted, and cheese and onion. Like, if you said them, then that's like standard.
Prawn cocktail, does that count as like a standard flavor, or is that a bit out there?
I feel like it's somewhere in the middle, maybe. You could maybe count it as a standard flavor.
It's a bit of a fruity one, that.
It is a fruity one.
But go for it, Mike.
So,
when was the last time you ate crisps? Was it in New York?
It was in New York.
That was the last time I ate crisps as well, and I didn't want them. That's where the chips got me. I thought I was getting chips, but I got crisps.
We learnt the hard way. You learnt the hard way. I didn't. Do you know what? I feel like we don't have such exotic flavors over here. Like well, maybe we do have ketchup flavor.
There's definitely ketchup, yeah. Pickle, though, not sure about that.
Yeah, that's a random one.
Unless Monster Munch do pickle.
Feels
Feels like that might be a flavor they do. Monster Munch. You know what I think when I have Monster Munch?
Yeah.
Is I just start sweating. Like whatever it is, the food when I eat that, it like makes me feel like I just start sweating. It's weird.
Is it because
Don't
it's
know why.
quite you get the crumbs on your fingers, don't you? Like when you
No,
kind
it's
of
more like the flavor that I'm. It's like a response to the flavor. It's like makes me feel like I'm sweating. I don't know what it is. They're
really
very strong from memory, at least.
interesting. Do you know what? With flavors, I'm genuinely struggling because I genuinely would go for barbecue, and I probably genuinely would go for uh I don't know, salt and vinegar or something like that, sour cream and chive. So I'm sorry, Remy, but I am going to be boring. Those are my favors.
What about crinkled versus flat versus I don't know what other ones, baked or whatever there is.
Oh, baked for sure, but crinkled, I think, would just give that extra kind of
McCoy's barbecue, like steak ones or barbecue ones or
yeah,
whatever they are, the crinkled ones, they're banging
yeah,
from
something
memory.
like that. That would be good because sometimes those thin ones, they just don't. You just feel like you're eating air. It's like, what is this?
Like quavers. They're like
Oh,
cheesy, light, curly things. But anyway, I haven't eaten crisps since New York either. And I mean, I didn't really even eat them on my plate then because I was like, I wanted freaking chips. I didn't want these crisps. And they didn't taste great either. They were just like stale, but they were just ready salted as well. So, and I was post show, so you think I'd be hungry and anything would taste good. So they're really that bad. But yeah, when someone asks I mean, I just don't eat crisps. So I feel like I wouldn't be
yeah.
doing this justice because I just never really eat them. When I would eat them, it would be the like baked ones, and it would
Mm.
just be like sour cream, probably. I will say at the moment, I've been really enjoying. I'd been doing sourdough with salmon, but I just haven't been going to Tesco to buy the sourdough, and so I'd had some sour cream. What are they called? Snacker jacks. So
Oh,
rice
yeah.
cakes, and so I've
Hmm.
been doing salmon on sour cream snacker jacks, and that is a awesome combination.
Interesting. I never even
So
thought of that.
maybe I'll say one for Remy just so it's different. Roast chicken.
Uh,
It's all right.
Fair enough.
Don't mind
Like
it.
kind of Walker's roast chicken.
Yeah, I'm just going to throw that one out there. This is another flavor I can think of.
Yeah,
I've never.
fair.
Did you like prawn? What did I call it? Prawn cocktail.
Prawn
Did you ever
cocktail.
like that,
Yeah,
or was it
yeah,
you did like it?
yeah. Solid flavor for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if I liked it. It was always a bit of a weird one for me. I think it was more the knowledge of what it was, like being prawn cocktail. I'm like, I'd never eat a prawn cocktail, so why would I like this flavor? I think my dad also always got them, and I was like, Dad, you're just weird.
What was your go-to flavor then when you were younger? Did you have or did you eat crisps when you were younger?
Yes, I definitely did. Salt and vinegar, or what was the other one? It's cheese and onion. You
Yeah,
didn't say cheese and onion, right? Or did you say cheese and onion before?
yeah, cheese and onion. I said
Yeah,
cheese and onion.
again, the onion thing, I used to not like onions. So onion used to like put me off, but I used to like the flavor. But I'd be like, no, I'll just get salt and vinegar.
Mm, we'd always I at school I feel we'd tease each other like, oh, I can't like cheese and onion, you'd smell or whatever. Something like that. You've got to be salt and vinegar or something like that.
Or I used to like French fries. Do you remember those?
Yeah, they're
Like
good.
those crisps.
They were really
Uh,
good. Pringles
and
are just top tier, I think.
Pringles. Yes. We have Pringles in downstairs, actually.
Oh,
Charlotte eats Pringles semi regularly. I don't even know what flavor they are, though. I have no idea. I've not eaten. I never. She'd be like, "Why are you eating a Pring?" For me, the reason I never eat them, also, Mike, is the macros are pretty awful.
yeah,
Like for a packet of crisps where you get barely anything, the fat's like almost 20 grams or something, and I'm just like, "What? People eat this?" It's all just, yeah, it's not a quality food. Anyway, I digress.
yeah. Doritos as well is another good brand. Doritos sweet
Oh,
chili.
or the cool ones, the blue ones. Oh man, I'm gonna have to try some crisps out because I haven't eaten them for ages, especially Doritos. I haven't eaten in yonks. Charlotte
Mhm.
actually will regularly have. They're like Doritos, but they're not Doritos. They're why have I forgotten what they're called? They come with Mexican food, and actually I've eaten some of these semi recently.
Tortilla
Um,
chips.
tortilla chips, that's the one. Yeah, they're just ready salted, of course.
Yeah, but
And
yeah,
I'm like,
Doritos are. They were almost like cinema food where you'd have like a few Doritos as you were just like watching a film or something.
yeah. I used
Mm.
to do pick a mix.
Oh yeah, I that would be my go-to. Over, I wouldn't have Doritos when watching films. So other people would, but I'd be pick a mix. all that stuff. Get me on that. The minstrels, the chocolate stuff. Yeah, give it to me.
The long snake.
Yeah, yeah, I love it.
Love it. Oh, you're making us reminisce, Remy, and making me feel a bit old. In fact, I never eat any of this stuff anymore. Next question, is it you?
It is me, right? So Barnaby Stanton asks, last week of my ISB4 mini cut, what can I do to set myself up for a successful transition mini cut phase? Business as usual?
I think I'm guessing he means improvement season before my mini cut. What can I do to set myself up for success for a transition into mini cut phase? I think I'm trying to think of an answer that isn't just business as usual. It depends what your business is, because if your business is not kept tightly, you're going to have to tighten things up for that mini cut. But I don't know why you would transition into tightening up and not just start when you start the mini cut. Yeah, I don't see anything you inherently need to do to prepare for a mini cut. The only thing you might want to do is like prepare a baseline meal plan sort of that you might be eating and then buy those foods so you've got them. But ultimately, we're of the opinion that your kind of mini cuts to diet phases to bulking periods, it's not like night and day differences. It's just you're trimming the fat, basically, quite literally trimming the fat,
Yeah.
but then trimming the fat of your diet too. So when I think about, exactly what I would be doing is I'd be just reducing quantities of some of my meals. And of an evening, I normally have like some sort of tasty snack of 200 calories of whatever it is, a biscuit or what have you. And I'll just remove that and be like, cool. There'll be nothing else I really would need to do. So I just have a bit of think about what foods you're going to be eating and then have those in and available.
Yeah. I've got nothing else to add there. And it's kind of a bit of a mindset shift, because it's not like, all of a sudden you're eating quote unquote dirty and then you're eating clean. It's like, it's not like that. Like you said, it's when you change that mindset, it's like, nothing really changes. You're just dialing some things back or dialing some things up, and that's it. And then it's no stress. It's nothing major, you know. Yeah. It's quite liberating, it feels like, I think, when you are able to make that shift.
Yeah, so there's not such extreme changes with training, nutrition, anything. It's just like small transitions in either direction. And the body does way better that way too.
Mm-hmm.
You feel better. I can't tell you, Mike, like this off season has been such a blessing because it's the first time in a long time I've gained at just a nice slow pace. I've gained at double this speed, which is still slow, like 2 pounds a month. But I just feel so much better this time. My appetite's still great. I feel great. I don't think my training is any worse for it. So it's just like, wow, that was just huge for me. But anyway, that's a tangent, as it were. Shall I ask you the next question?
Yeah.
So Jojo asks, does body fat distribution affect muscle gain to areas which remain leaner during improvement phases, e.g. upper in females?
Not to my knowledge. I could be wrong, but I can't see how body fat distribution would affect. It might change the appearance, maybe. I can definitely see that, but in terms of one's ability to gain muscle, I can't see how it would affect things in a negative sort of sense.
I have nothing to add. I can't think to any reason that would be the case. There's much bigger things that would have a bigger role in where you'd be gaining muscle as opposed to like body fat distribution. I don't think there's anything to like, hey, if your limbs stay leaner, they're more insulin sensitive and so they have more growth potential. I don't think there's anything to that. No. So
yeah,
easy one really.
All right. So Jake fit_as_hell asks, if I work out for 1 hour before bed, schedule based and no negative impact on sleep, how do I prioritize carbohydrates post workout given this is non-traditional?
I would say, so I'm just taking it for what it is, and I'm assuming there is no negative impact on sleep or anything like that, although there's no point me even suggesting that there is, because it might be that, hey, it has to be that way. Let me get to the actual answer to this question. I think you don't need to worry about eating a bunch of carbs post-workout. I think that kind of the post-workout window has been debunked quite heavily. And also, like if you have a good pre-workout carbohydrate serving, they're still going to be digesting and assimilating post-workout. So I would just make sure that you have a good feed before your workout. And I would really encourage having something light after your workout if you were to have anything at all, because you'll probably impact your sleep negatively. And I'd mostly keep it to protein and low fats and maybe some carbs in there. So yeah, I honestly don't think it's a concern.
Do you know what I had for my post-workout meal today?
I mean, I don't. Crisps. I know
Not
you didn't.
quite. We did discuss it last week. You gave me a recommendation for it, and I've given it a try.
Oh,
And I'll give you a clue. You can get them from Lidl.
oh, it must be a cereal, right? But now I've forgotten.
No, it's not a cereal.
Oh, did you have a cheesecake?
Yeah. So I
Oh,
had the
how
vanilla
did you like it?
cheesecake. Good. And the chocolate cheesecake isn't bad, but there is just that slight little extra bit of taste to the just regular cheesecake. So
It's
it
like
was
a
really good.
lemony, zesty, cheesy. Yeah, it's great. They're nice.
They do it well. It's just really it's firm. It's just they've nailed it. It's great.
Yeah, that's that texture part. And you can just take your time with it. They're not too light, fluffy. Like it doesn't feel like you're not eating anything. It actually feels fairly substantial. So, yeah. So for Jake, I think don't worry about post workout too much. Have something light and just make
Have a
sure you're well
cheesecake.
fed going to the workout. Yeah, have a cheesecake.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. Next question is from MW_some_it_coaching.
This is Megan.
Oh,
Megan.
okay. She's a recent client of yours, right?
Yeah, she has just signed up. She's a new
Very
client.
cool.
Shout out Megan.
Sometimes, yeah, shout out to Megan. Welcome to the family.
Whoop, whoop.
Is she UK based?
No, well, so she's Scottish, but she's living in North Carolina. Hopefully I didn't get that wrong. But she's Scotland based, but living in North Carolina.
I was only thinking if she could make it for the get together, but
no, oh,
yeah,
not
it's a bit
quite.
far. Scotland wouldn't have been too bad, but North Carolina, bit of a trek. So she asks, sometimes I wonder if I am too robotic with my lifts, but I don't want to get too loose either. Thoughts? Also, I didn't see this. Also, just signed up with Mike.
Hey.
Go for it, coach.
What this kind of I think this comes with experience and time, and I think the great thing about this question is awareness, because what comes to my mind with this question as well is that technique continuum of not having technique too perfect, but then also not having technique too loose. So we obviously don't want technique to always be so perfect that it limits our ability to go to failure, but equally we don't want to be too loose that it causes injury. We're probably better off starting closer towards the good perfect side, but then as we get more experienced in knowing our bodies and knowing things, we can allow ourselves to get a little bit looser. Again, not to the point where the target muscle is no longer being stimulated, but we are able to train harder and not stressing about technique, not being perfect. So I think, Megan, all I would just get you to do is just to keep that awareness. And do you know what? When you're training, just train bloody hard. And if your technique gets a little bit loose towards the end, don't stress about it. If it's a bit too much and you're like, oh, do you know what? I don't feel the target muscle anymore. Right. Then you can just, the next time you go in, just keep everything the same and just try to tighten it up a little bit. And it's that simple.
Yeah, it's a really interesting one, I find, with technique. And definitely thinking about it being on a spectrum is key, because perfect is pie in the sky. And also recognizing we're not robots, we're human. And also, it comes back to that. I think it was a bit viral for a minute within our space. It was like, your first rep should look the same as your last rep. It's like, really though? Because anything, even robots pushed to their limits, they start getting a bit cranky. Maybe they slow down. It doesn't quite look perfect. I don't know. You think about anything, again, like a car going at its absolute full speed, like the engine's rattling, and whereas anything before that, it's like smooth, smooth, smooth. But as you get close to failure, close to your max, you basically fight for as perfect as a technique as you can, but you're not going to be perfect. And if you stop before that, then you might be leaving gains and reps on the table that could be gained. And you can also learn, as you said, Mike, where you might do those like looser technique reps and be like, man, I just felt that in my joints. I just felt like I was swinging it. It didn't feel productive. Then you're like, right, I know like that's past my technical failure and I just shouldn't go into there. Whereas if you have your technical failure where I once had it, and maybe you've been there too, Mike, it's like I could be 5 reps away from muscular failure because I'm like, oh no, my knee came in like 2 millimeters on my squat. It's like, man, you're overthinking that. Or my hip slightly rose on whatever it might be. And it's like, well, yeah, you can still work within these bumpers of very effective technique. And it's something, I don't know if you've seen this with clients, Mike, or even your own training, where you can quite often progress pulling motions for a long time. They just keep progressing for a long, long time, whereas pressing slower. And I think I know what it is, and it's technique. With pressing, you can only let your technique get so loose before you're bouncing off your chest, or you're really cutting that range of motion, or you're speeding it up to an extent where it's not controlled. Whereas for pulling, it's so much easier to use a bit more momentum or lose a little bit more range of motion. And so it's not as black and white. So I just find that interesting. And it's just, I don't know what the saying is. It's like, it's just part of the system. It's not like a problem. It's just recognizing it's part of it. And I just recently reset some of my lifts. I'm like, hey, that's the saying. It's not a bug, it's a feature. It's not like it's a problem. It's just a feature of what's going on. So yeah, now and then you're going to have to reset some things. I did it on like hip thrusts because you came to the Yorkies, right? And I was doing quite a lot of weight. And I was like, you know what? I could control these more and probably take off like 20% of the load. So I was just like, right, I'll just slow down my eccentrics a bit more. I'll kind of increase the challenge via that. Same with my calf raises. It was just like such an amount of weight on my back on the machine calf raise. I was like, hey, let's strip it back like 20 kilos and just make sure my eccentrics are a bit slower. So as long as you're working hard and you're progressing things over time and technique is looking in a good spot on that spectrum, you're golden. I just expanded on the points you were making. You basically answered it perfectly.
No, they were great additions. And you made me think about something as you were talking, and now it's just gone out of my head again. But never mind. I thought you brought up the great point about chest though. I've definitely hit a wall with my chest sometimes. Granted, sometimes that's been because I've been a bit too assertive with my progressions, but equally, yeah, chest can also, I would say, grinding with pulling movements isn't as mentally burdensome as grinding with pushing movements. Like when you're grinding on the bench press, it is just like wow, it's a different thing compared to pulling.
A great additional note though, because you'll fail in the bottom of a bench or in a press. So grindability is like, there is not really anything because you failed at the bottom. Whereas with pulling, the start of the motion is the easiest bit. So you can grind, but maybe get some partials in, but it might not be so partial that you wouldn't call it like a progression, for example. So yeah, it's an interesting one. I think a lot of people think it's because their chest is more advanced. And I'm like, I think it's just a feature of training and you just have to be aware of it. And that's okay. Right. Next question. Oh, it's actually for you, for me.
So NJ NASA 94 asks, I struggle with my look 1 month post prep. I've gained 5 kilos. Before I had a way more defined physique at the same body weight, even 4 months post cut. How do I deal with this?
So, dude, I feel that it's very normal. 5 kilos is not that much to have gained during that period of time. It sounds very appropriate, to be honest. But body fat comes on a bit funky. We tend to gain it on our core a bit more than our limbs. I would always, reflecting now, it's really clear. Like post show, I'm always like, my legs just look awesome because that for me is the muscle that I struggle to grow the most, and I love seeing shredded and looking amazing. And I remember post show that like a month, 2 months, legs just look crazy cool and like still shredded, but my abs like are soft like really soft across like my core, my abs, my chest really softens up. And it just takes a bit of time and it redistributes. So I think it's just a function of being post-show. It's not a problem. So in terms of how to deal with it, just accept it. It's part of the process. It will even out over time. And ultimately, as a competitor, what does it matter? You need to build muscle right now, so focus on the things that build muscle. Your physique only matters for stage. If you have that black and white, just competitor mindset, focus on performance in the gym. So there's some of my thoughts. What do you
Yeah.
reckon, Mike?
Remember, NASA, that your muscle's not going anywhere. You know, you're essentially you're you're recovering. You're putting on healthy body fat, which is needed to be healthy, but you're not losing muscle. So don't worry, that's going there. And like you said, Steve, so you're just saving that and you're trying to build on it now. So forget that and become performance focused in the gym and just focus on training hard, loving training, and channeling that focus somewhere else.
Well said. That's the thing I missed, actually. He said had way more defined physique at the same body weight before. Just on that note, you're comparing two different nutritional periods. You're comparing a deficit versus a surplus. So that already influences things. And then the other thing we don't know, Mike, is in that situation, he could have lost muscle to get in that final bits of condition, and that muscle might not have recovered post-show. And so it could be that that's why you don't quite look as good. And so in terms of if that is the case and how to deal with it, well, you do exactly what Mike just said. You focus on building muscle because that's the only, that's the goal right now. And then you reflect on, did I lose any muscle during my prep? Could I have done anything differently? Did I diet too long, too hard? Did I try and take off body fat and lose size elsewhere that wasn't worth the trade-off? You only know that, Nasir. So yeah, there'd be just my final thoughts on that one.
Yeah. And that's what we did. I did, right? We kind of over dieted in 2023 a little bit, you know, but what did we do? We just were like, right, we recover and we just start training hard. And lo and behold, we keep improving.
Yeah. It happened to me as well. Like I definitely took off more than I should have for my last season for that for Worlds. And it's interesting. I just didn't even think within the first few months post show, I'm not even thinking about comparing. It's only when I was like, I don't know, maybe 4 months, 5 months post show that I started to think, oh, how am I looking to where I was at this body weight before? Basically, once I was truly recovered, or like 80% of the way, like majority recovered, that's the only time I'd think about it. Otherwise, the goal is just recovery. So for Nasir, it's like, the goal is recovery now, man. Focus on that. Once you're deeper into your improvement season, that's when you focus on, oh, have I actually improved? Because now I've given it time to improve.
And to use our word of the week, surrender, Nasir. Surrender to just the body fat coming on, to not looking lean anymore. Just surrender to it and just move forward.
Absolutely. Final question.
Yeah. All right. So this is great. So Christine, Kreinhart5, asks Steve, if you're comfortable sharing, what goals have you set for yourself for the next season that you plan to compete?
Ooh. Yeah, I do have goals. So my goals are, I want to be competitive in the pro ranks. I think that's the big overarching goal. What do I mean by competitive? I mean, not coming last, not coming second last. I guess actually let's put I want to, ideally I would like to place top, let's say top 5. So in a bigger class, if it was a smaller class, I'd like to place like top 3. I'm not expecting to win. I don't have goals to win any pro shows. I don't have those expectations. So I don't have expectations to come second. Just want to place, truly be competitive as a pro. That's kind of the overarching goal as I came back to. But I guess maybe that means placing. It doesn't necessarily mean placing, but I want to be competitive and feel looked at and like I am climbing the ranks. If I compete and I do very similarly to how I did last year when I turned pro, that would be not meeting my goal. And if that was to happen, I would probably not continue moving forward as a pro. I would let my pro card go, because what's happened there, will have taken 2 years to build my physique as a pro and still not be competitive. as a pro. So it's like, would another 2 years really start to make me that competitive? Probably not. I think I'd actually probably just get more enjoyment competing as an amateur and regaining that pro card. And it kind of actually says I don't have a pro worthy physique at that point. Like if I've had 2 years, like
Mm.
I've earned the pro card, I've then had 2 year off season, really dedicating myself as a pro, and then I'm not even competitive as a pro. Dude, you're not pro worthy at that point.
Mm.
And I'm
Mm.
okay taking that if that is the case. So I want to put myself on quite a few stages though. So I want to do like, and maybe not just WNBF pro stages either. I want to do a variety of competitions. Like I've seen so the person that comes to mind is Josh Croggan, men's physique competitor this year. He's done like just a bunch of different federations and shows. And I just want to get in the mix and
Mm.
enjoy just competing and competing as an amateur on some stages, competing as a pro on some stages, and see how I get on. I think that's kind of what I have. But yeah, I think it might sound weird to some people to be like, oh, you give up your pro card. But I think that's the best decision to make, especially taking 2 years off to
Mm.
then like, why would I continue down that path? Like I feel like I'd need to re-earn it at that point.
I think you've got to,
I
yeah,
say
you've
that
got to.
now. We'll see.
It really comes to kind of like not having an attachment to that pro status in a way, like just being attached to enjoying bodybuilding as a whole, enjoying yourself more. And, and if that means like you said, if you're not pro status or pro caliber, hey, you probably just have fun, competing as an amateur. So lean into that hard and don't attach worth to, you know, a title as such, attach
Yeah.
worth to just having fun and enjoying it. And just because regardless, when you step on stage next time, you will be improved. And actually, that's where we should attach that worth and that meaning to, hey, I'm improved,
Yeah.
and go from there.
That's kind of what I guess I'm alluding to, in that if I wasn't competitive as a pro, I wouldn't want that to make me stop competing. I'd want to still compete, but I won't enjoy. I want to compete. I'm not competing if I'm not competitive as a pro. So that's where I'm like, I just give it up and I just go back into the amateur ranks and have fun, because that's
Mm.
what I ultimately want next season to be, is fun. I want to step on stage, improve, like you said. I think that's probably guaranteed. So yeah, that's kind of, yeah, the outcome goals are to be competitive as a pro, but the kind of process goals are to, like, again, enjoy it more, get better at my process, and bring an improved physique to stage. And that's mostly it. How about
Yeah.
you, Mike? What are your goals for next time you compete?
I I my it
You
is a
can do
vague goal,
outcome
I
and
think.
process.
Outcome and process. So I would love to be able to come in the top three of, say, a lightweight open bodybuilding class. That would be probably more an outcome goal. Um,
Is that like a finals or a qualifier?
Either, to be honest with you.
Okay.
I'm probably going to set the bar a little bit lower for myself.
I was going to say, you can, I think you can, you've already done that, right?
Yeah, I not in WMBF. So I
That's like a
came.
finals though. I would say it's like a finals, really.
Yeah. So okay, if we were to count Supernaturals as a finals, if I was to come top three at Supernaturals for lightweight,
Awesome.
that would be my top outcome. Like, I'd be amazing. Ultimately, though, if I just want to, I do just want to be improved. And I'm almost a bit scared of not being improved. That's a fear of mine, to be honest with you. But yeah, that'll be the outcome goal. And I think something that's a bit more process focused, I would love to also just execute prep with a bit more flexibility. Hopefully, maybe I might be in a relationship as well. So I think that would test me in a different way, because in 2023 I was single, so I could just be an all-in monk type, own the process. Whereas I think when you've got someone else in your life or you've got a different responsibility, it challenges you in a different way. And again, it challenges the process. So that would be something which I'd hope to achieve from a process perspective.
Love that. You're definitely going to be improved, no doubt in my mind. like there's going to be massive improvements. Just from there's so many angles that you will be improved on. It's probably hard right now because of the injury and everything, though, which is just challenging. But yeah, you're definitely going to be improved. And the other thought I had was open, classic, both.
I said open, and then suddenly I was like, oh no, what about classic? I would like to do both. I haven't set my mind on one over the other. So I'd like to give both a try and just see what really, vibes with me in the moment. Because it might be that, classic is the one for me. I do think sometimes that my structure and my shape suits that a little bit better. But we shall see.
I might try classic.
I
I
think you
might,
should.
just for like shits and giggles, or like maybe even like men's physique, just throw my hat in there at
Why
some
not,
show.
though? Why not?
The biggest thing for me will be the posing, and I might try and get some of like classic won't be too bad because it's just tweaks on the open bodybuilding posing. Obviously, posing and the flow and everything, that's a big part of it. But I think that's reasonably easy to transition from open to classic. But the men's physique stuff, I think I'd need to learn some of those poses in my off season to bring them in. But yeah, part of me likes that slightly different challenge. And I think it'll just make me a better coach, just because I've had a number of men's physique competitors and I know the posing well, but not to the degree that I know men's open bodybuilding. Like I can pick out small things. Whereas for men's physique, it's not like I can pick out those smaller things, that it just doesn't quite come as naturally. I think, though, if you've competed at it and you've learned the posing, then you can. So if it looks awful, though, I definitely wouldn't. But part of me is just like, hey, just like, I don't know, throw my hat in there, see what it's like.
But you at least do it once, right? It's like, it's part of the fun of it, and you can't say that. You just never know until you try it. You just got to try the look
True.
sometimes.
What was I going to say? Classic is, I don't know if vacuum, actually, at the UK at least, I'm almost certain Steph says, do a vacuum if you can. I don't think it's something you have to do. Maybe it's a bonus point, but I'd have to work on a vacuum because I definitely can't do a good one. I know that much. Like, even if I practice at it, it won't be good. Some people just have a great rib cage for it. Just don't have that rib cage, unfortunately.
But that, again, that's like a genetic thing, right? It's like,
yeah.
Toten, like, who's just got that beautiful rib cage. It's like his vacuum's going to look amazing, even if he can't do it that well, So, but it's practice, right?
Is there any way, I don't think there's any way we'd be able to compete on the same stage, is there? I was trying to think, because if it's height or weight, we're too far apart to be on the same stage, because that would be mega if we could get that going. Only if it was a pro stage, Mike, at the moment, if you had to turn pro, and then if it was an open pro class.
True. Yeah, that would be incredible.
Or masters at some point.
Yeah. But I think, there's unless I somehow hide some fake heels or something like that, some little, I don't know. I was thinking like those sounds really bad. I was going to say like some amputee like mini legs or something. I don't know, but to boost my height. But no, unfortunately, it's not gonna happen.
Awesome. Well, that's all the questions. So I think we can wrap up there. As a reminder, guys, if you've listened this far, you better have subscribed. Share it. Let us know that you're watching. We always appreciate those. Give us a comment. Give us a like. All that good stuff. It only helps us. And as a reminder, we are online coaches. So we help people get to stage, photo shoots, all that good stuff. I would love to start working with you and build you into 2026, especially if you're a competitor. Unless you're competing real late in the year, you better be looking up to hook with your coach soon. And anything else from you, Mike?
No, that's everything. So thanks for tuning in, guys, and make sure you tune in again next week.
So you can hear out how Mike's date went, and if there's round 3 on the books. The coaching is linked in the description. I should have said that. You get a consultation with us. We can have a chat, and we'll take it from there. Cheers, guys.
Thanks, guys. See you later.